What's going on, guys? Big Mike, D717 Outlaw. We are jumping right back into it on the Busa. I know I'm about a week late. Unfortunately, I missed my window at Yamaha Camp Hill to get my tires mounted last weekend, so I had to wait until this week to do it, and got them in. We got our Shinko hookups mounted up on these R1 wheels. I also went ahead and got a new sprocket. So we're going back to the original, pretty close to the original ratio, which is a 1643 on the Busa. Or no, an 1843. I have a 16, it's a 1643 setup now, which is close to the same ratio. I think it's like a 3.09 ratio or a 2.89, something in that range. Went and got our new bearings in last weekend, and the wheels are set up ready to go. So we're going to jump right into this install and get these wheels on the bike, and we're going to break down the extra components you have to get in order to do the R1 swap, and I'm going to try to link as many people as I can that have done this and have the parts that you need in order to get them. So, alright guys, let's jump into this and get these nice R1 wheels finally on the Busa, and we're getting one step closer to getting her tuned. Okay guys, well I might have went a little overboard on the grease, because if you didn't see all of the excess that I had coming out of this joint, it was pretty bad. So going over the wheel swap as a whole for the rear, I'm not going to worry about the chain too much right now, but the wheel is on and it spins pretty good. So biggest thing that we have to look at for your modifications, again, you need the rotor. You need the rotor that matches your gear, and the reason being is, like I said, the hub size is narrower, so you need some kind of shim to account for that space that you're losing. So therefore, doing that, if you do an R1 swap, that little bushing was actually inside the old wheel. That ended up being the saving grace to not having to pay for milling work to have a spacer made. That spacer fit perfectly, and it is perfect on both sides. Center chain is straight. This is exactly where the sprocket would be if it was the R1 wheel, or yeah, the R1 wheel, the OEM wheel. So the rear wheel is honestly done. I mean, I still have to put the chain on, torque everything down, do the chain adjustment and stuff like that, which I do have a new EK chain up on the bench. That new chain is rated for 400 horsepower. Don't think we'll ever need all that power, but overall everything looks good, spins freely, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead, get this finished up, and we're gonna jump on to the front wheel.
Well, as you can tell, it's the next day. Unfortunately, last night I ended abruptly because I got a little frustrated. I was trying to finish up the back end, and unfortunately I messed up our DRZ2 new drag chain. I took a few too many links out, and the chain's just too short. So I'm just going to put the old one on for now until the new one comes in. I had to order one last night, but we're going to go ahead, finish up with the front wheel, and get this wheel conversion finished. So that way the bike is pretty much ready. We are still waiting, however, for the new clutch basket that was supposed to be here last night, but unfortunately I never got it, and it said it was out on the delivery truck, so I'm still trying to figure out what happened with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get these wheels on and get this episode finished up. It's taken long enough, so yeah, let's get to it.
It took a little bit longer to get that off. I didn't realize that the calipers were going to interfere with that, so when you go to do this, undo the fender. You don't have to take it out. It's a little hard to get out anyway because there's a brake line clip on the other side that kind of interferes with the shock. So loosen up the fender, take all the bolts out, undo your calipers. Luckily for mine, I have the front end straps, which actually holds them right there. They won't really go anywhere. But now that we have the front wheel off, we went ahead, jumped on the scale. This front wheel actually takes off about 3.5 pounds. The rear ended up taking off an additional 3.5 pounds. So one, new bearings, so rotational friction is lessened. less rotational mass in the wheel. So we're kind of freeing up some horsepower here on the bike. I know the weight savings wasn't as high as I had thought, but weight savings on a bike makes a huge difference, especially in a drag application. And to tell you the truth, that rear wheel looks pretty good. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this front wheel on. But let me talk to you guys about this axle. So if you notice, when I took the old axle out, this bigger end is here on the driver's side of the bike. So the conversion axle has a larger end. So this, when you install, will go, the larger end will go on here. And like I said, the other side, you take a large nut off, which is sitting right over here. Take that nut off, similar thing on this side. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little sleeve, which once I take this nut or bolt out of the end, this sleeve will slide right into the passenger side, and we'll let that sit in there. And then when we go to feed our axle through, once our wheel is on, we'll already have that in. Just gonna slide the new axle in, tighten the bolt to free up this loose space on the axle. I think I might put a little bit of Loctite on it just so that screw doesn't want to back out, and get the brakes on. I think we should be about good. So I'm gonna roll a time lapse. We're gonna get this done. It's taking long enough. Before I get too far into this, we already put that bushing in. You can see it kind of sticks out pretty good. That'll get pushed in once we tighten the nut up. But what you're gonna do with your R1 wheels is, you see these little plastic covers? You do not need these. The sizing on the axle, let's go ahead and stick this end in. You see that little like flange or reduced edge? That fits right inside the seal. So there will be no dirt and contaminants getting in between that gap and into your bearings. So that dust shield, the plastic shield, really doesn't need much of anything. So we're gonna go ahead, throw a little bit of grease on this to add to that extra little bit of seal and get this finished up. Alright guys, well, we're going to end it here. We finally have the R1 wheels on and ready to go. I just have to get the calipers back on. But not too bad of a conversion. The axle fits perfectly. I mean, I don't really know any other way to say it. We did erase those dust covers back in here. So pretty much it's just kind of playing around with where the wheel fits. But no, I have to admit, R1 wheels look a hell of a lot better. The black with the white, red, and silver look pretty damn good to me. So as always, guys, we are going to end it here. If there's any more questions about the R1 wheel conversion for a second gen Busa, drop those comments down below. I'm going to try to add the information for Brad, who I ordered the conversion axle through. I did contact him the other day about a couple questions, just because when you first go to test the axle, some things don't seem like they fit right, which included the dust covers, because it seemed like the axle was too short. But took the covers off, everything fit fine. Now all I got to do is just tidy up everything with the rotors, and she's good to go. Alright guys, like I said, if you want to know anything more, drop those comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one. As always, ride safe, ride smart, always wear a helmet, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later.